To order. And
There's raindrops.
we got a new faucet there for you, Grant. There's been a request to allow remote participation for member Tornatori and member Rutledge under Section A of the Open Meetings Act pursuant to Section 7A of the Open Meetings Act if a quorum of members of the public body is physically present, which it is today, right now. As required by Section 2.01, a majority of the public body may allow a member of the body to attend the meeting by other means if the member is prevented from physically attending because of personal illness, employment, or family emergency. Is there a motion to allow both members? We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome. We do have, let's do a roll call now, I guess.
Desart? Here. Eka?
Here.
Garcia?
Here.
Krajewski?
Here.
Rutledge?
Here.
Tornatori?
Here. Okay, anybody sign in for public comment?
No public comment.
Anybody that's here want to make any public comment? That's fine. Okay, we'll move on to have a motion to approve our minutes of Tuesday, May 17th.
Second.
Okay, any changes, questions, additions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Our one procurement request we have, a motion for 2022-58, recommendation approval of contract with Hills Pet Nutrition.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments on this one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move on to our administrative update, Laura.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated our volunteer base at the DuPage Historical Museum, which was a change up for our venue and really got great feedback. Not only was it nice to celebrate everything that they've accomplished and recognize how integral they are to everything that we do each day, but they got to learn a little bit about DuPage County history, and there happened to be a companion animal exhibit happening there. So we did a little scavenger hunt, and really our volunteers are so important to what we do. So it was an honor to be able to celebrate
I'm so
them.
sorry to miss it.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
no, it's fine.
But
So,
I sent my emissary.
yes.
Because I know the volunteers like to see board members invested
Yeah,
and
they
involved.
do. And it was exciting. We got to share some of the new building plans with them too, and they're very excited as we are. So we are saying goodbye to our senior animal control officer, Barbara Anthony, this Friday. She's been with us for over 16 years. So she's retiring from the animal field and taking a job closer to home in a completely different area of work. But we're glad that she's leaving, having done so much and just trained so many other officers. And really, we wish her the best. But that's a long time animal control type work. And so we have a lot of new faces too. We've had a little wave of hiring. We've got new faces in the front office. We have some new faces back in the kennels. So a lot of training going on right now, and excited as we go into the season where we typically see a larger number of animals coming in. On that point, we've got just under 200 animals in our care right now, just slightly more of them in foster than compared to the shelter, which is always kind of our goal, is to keep as many animals in foster as possible. We've been tracking at about an 87% live release rate, so still in that high 80s, which is nice. Still continuing with a lot of the same struggles, dogs coming in with not a lot of behavioral structure and background, and those bigger dogs are always a struggle to get out. So we're working on that. We've got over 30 rabbits in our care right now and continuing to get a lot of requests to take in more. But right now everything is pretty manageable. I did also want to share that Laura Winnie, our Community Outreach and Education Coordinator, is relaunching our really popular pet first aid and CPR classes. We did that pre-COVID, it went away, and now we're going to be starting that back up again. And that was a huge draw for a lot of people. She's been doing some Zoom ones, but this is the actual in-person practicing first aid and CPR on mannequin dogs. And we're doing something new this year. We will be starting in August with dispatcher training. So we're going to be working with the folks at DuCom and hopefully eventually ACDC to help them get them trained up on how to respond, questions to ask and everything for animal calls, and understanding what we as animal services will support in the field as well too. So a couple new things on the horizon there, and open to any questions.
Well, I was back to their animal control officers.
Yeah.
I know that's been a difficult spot. We have 4 positions. we don't necessarily need 4 there all the time during the week, but they rotate at night 24/7, so it's every 4th week. And Laura's had us, you know how to do it, so you substitute a lot. But it just seems like we're constantly down people in that area. One, it's hard to hire. And currently right now with Barb leaving, one of the other ones is injured, so they're at the front desk, right?
Correct.
One of them's only been here
Month or so.
a month, so we're down to like 1 person to do the on-calls when we need 4. And I know, you know, we had the one who wound up leaving to get a lot more money to become a dispatcher, right? And one go to Naperville. And one other one, as soon as they hired with us, they got offered more money up north.
Yeah.
We had one go on maternity leave, but we always seem to have, one, it's hard to fill them, and 2, they either get jobs somewhere else or when somebody's out. And, you know, we did talk a while ago, years ago, about cross-training, like some of the other people just to do the 24/7. Maybe we pay more money. I don't know what the answer is, but
Yeah, and I chatted with our animal care staff a little bit about that, because if I think about who's in our building that would have the animal handling skills to do something, it might be our animal care staff, you know.
and I don't know if we just offer a lot more money for them. I mean, it's just doing the 1 week at 7 to 7, whatever,
Yeah.
just on call. And I don't know how many on calls we get, but we need to do something because we can't have you out there every week covering all the time we're short.
Right.
What are the responsibilities of the job?
Well, the responsibilities of an animal control officer are, a lot of is administratively doing bite reports, having conversations with pet owners who have a pet that has bitten, and then the victims, and then following through on that rabies compliance. So there's a series of things they have to do by state law for public health and safety reasons. And then when it comes to, and then they'll go out and do investigations. We get complaints about, you know, my neighbors leave their dog out on the deck all day long with no food or water, or we get wildlife calls. So we'll go out into the field and
That's what I think
rescue
would be scary.
sick
You
and
could
injured
go out
wildlife.
and on a bat call, so if there's
Yeah.
a bat in my house or a raccoon or.
We do that,
Scary.
or sometimes they're not in the home, sometimes they're out in the field. But when it comes to specifically the after hours portion of it, we only go out for stray dogs, sick or injured domestics, and public safety situations, which will include getting, you know, a potential exposure animal out of somebody's home. Or we've had police situations, maybe somebody gets arrested on the highway and there's a dog in the car, or somebody passes away in the middle of the night. We'll go out for things like that. So,
But give us
Yeah.
some thought just to figure the, and maybe it's work with
Yeah.
the sheriff like we're doing now. He's gonna do emergencies only, but work with the sheriff. Maybe they have some of their people that could do the on-call too, when we're in those sort of situations. We gotta
Yes.
figure a way to cover the on-call at night when we're down, the animal control officers. During the day, it's fine, because we don't really need 4 during the day,
right.
to do all the investigations, et cetera. It's just covering those.
Yeah, and that's probably what we're gonna do then, is reach out to the sheriff's department and then the dispatchers to do more of like an emergency only. So if you've got if a deputy is out and there's a friendly stray dog, they can bring that dog into the shelter. They've got access to our building 24/7. But if it's a dog that's maybe they're not comfortable handling, there's some safety concerns, then maybe we get called out to assist them. So.
Are you posting for the job?
Yep, I just did all the paperwork yesterday, and so that'll be going to Cheryl's desk for a signature, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, it's not a field that people don't come out of college saying, I'm going to become an animal control officer. So we tend to pull from sort of similar industries or backgrounds. So we've gotten successfully people from the Forest Preserve District. Sometimes one of our officers right now used to be a community service officer with the police department. So we kind of pull from other areas of interest and then do a lot of training to get them ready.
I would say, I would think CSOs, maybe that would be another step for them.
Right,
So,
yeah,
but again, I would take a look at the salary. I mean, if we have to offer a little bit more, just, because that's a spot that continues to rotate. We just need to get, whatever it is, to get the good people there to stay too.
yeah.
So my
Thanks, Sheila.
question is,
Sure, Member Rutledge?
Thanks, Chair. Just so kind of stepping back a little bit, Laura, at one point we did recategorize that job to give a little bit of extra money. And then we did the pay study last year that gave everybody a pay bump, but clearly this is still a problem. Is there an opportunity to again, recategorize this position so that it's a little more attractive and we can keep somebody there?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary at this point because the changes we made last year should give us that flexibility to post in a range that hopefully is attractive. This person that's leaving has been here 16 years, so
Right.
this particular more senior, they do more lead worker duties. They're kind of auditing the work of their fellow animal control officers. They're assisting me in training so that I'm not constantly training all the new officers. So it's a little bit more responsibility than our typical animal control officer. So it will be posted with a higher salary and we'll see how that goes. And if we're not getting candidates, then maybe we go back. But I think the range itself will give us the flexibility we need to try to recruit somebody.
But that being said, Barb was here 16 years, but I absent that, the other 3 spots, there's no longevity and there hasn't been.
Those other ones haven't,
And
yeah.
there hasn't been, even
Yeah.
the ones that predate them. I don't think there's anybody who's been there more than,
And the turnover is costly.
Yeah. Well, and the people we have in those positions are still fairly new. And they did benefit from the increase that happened late last year for us. So my hope is that we're keeping them happy and they're enjoying
it's just
our culture and everything that we do there.
It's just
so.
a difficult thing when we have to be on call 24/7 for a week. I mean, they can't make trips, they can't go out, a night on a Friday night and they get called out, so.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes over the next 30 days and see what the posting attracts.
Any other questions for Laura?
So my question is, so excited about the new building, but there's going to be a long time of chaos as they add on and stuff. What is the plan for that?
So we've been told that really our operations shouldn't be too interrupted when they're putting the new addition on, where we might need to reach out to other local shelters and community partners for assistance is when we do that phase 2, where we move into the new building and they're renovating the existing building, because the majority of our housing for dogs is going to be in that part of the building that's being renovated. And then also all of our surgical suite area, like a lot of that space will be unusable. So we might find ourselves really making a call out for more foster homes, trying to encourage some other shelters to take in, and dogs in particular. And hopefully with the use of the van, we might still be able to continue doing surgeries, but we'll come up with a backup plan, sending animals out to surgery. So for example, Dr. Hannick was sick here recently. And she's got like an iron immune system. She very rarely gets sick like that, but we found ourselves under the pressure of animals backing up for spay-neuter surgeries and we couldn't move them out. So we reached out to some local hospitals, and Spay Illinois is one that's in Lyle that is a wonderful partner of ours in the community. And they took I think they did like 5 or 6 animals in one day for us. So we'll be planning for things like that. It's the second phase. Will require more planning with population management.
Any other questions for Laura? Any old business? Any new business? Okay, without objection, we adjourn.